All right, and welcome to the forecast card. This time, we're going to go over some Australian Open bets. So there are two games tonight in the ATP that I wanted to talk about. I'll probably get into WTA in different tournaments, but the games are starting a bit too soon, and so I don't really want to get into them. Statistically, tennis has been my most profitable sport that I've been betting on the last couple of years, so I wanted to kind of get on here and talk a bit about the spots that I like for tonight. All right, the first game we have Ben Shelton versus Lorenzo Sonego. Now, I do think that Sonego's time, I wouldn't say it's past, but he's definitely, past his peak. I think he's starting to regress a bit. And Ben Shelton's on the kind of the complete opposite. He's only 22, and he's already higher ranked than Sonego's ever been. I think Shelton has a lot more to prove, and on these hard courts, this is just a much better positional spot for him. If you look at the head-to-head, yes, Sonego won their 2024 French Open match, but that was on clay, and I think clay better suits Sonego's play style. But on the other side, Shelton won their hardcore clash in 3 sets back in 2022, and I think that's when Sonego was even better than he is now, and Shelton was worse. So on these hard courts, it's pretty hard to gloss over just how dominant Shelton's serve is on the surface. And being a left-handed player, I think he definitely does make it sometimes more uncomfortable for especially deeper into tournaments when these players are more used to just playing right hands over and over again. Now their brain has to rewire and start thinking about different angles. And his serve is insane. Like he regularly exceeds 200 kilometers per hour. He kind of plays like both styles at the net and at the baseline. Again, I do think his biggest weakness is going to be his consistency. Whenever you look at his matches, it seems that he gives up a lot of unforced errors. He's just not necessarily as good on the return game as he is on the service line. But Sonego is, I would say, the more well-rounded player, but I just don't think the fact that he doesn't have a lot of power is going to allow him to get any easy points in this game. I think Ben is going to dominate his services pretty easily, and when Sonego serves, it's going to be a lot tighter. It's going to be more of like, you're going to see a lot more 30-30s, a lot of 40-30s, potential break points. I just don't see a world where Sonego can comfortably return his serve when he's playing at his best, and he's got a lot to prove. He looks really comfortable out there so far this tournament. He's so new to the scene that I think in previous years he looked a bit more, rough around the edges, a lot of pressure, but now he's kind of established himself as a consistent, tour player now, and I think he can play with the best, and I don't think Sonego is necessarily that difficult of a match. They're both coming off of some pretty decent matches, but I just think Shelton's first serve is just going to dominate. And yes, Sonego is one of the best, the best returners in the league, especially in this tournament. But I don't think he's truly dealt with this Shelton serve. And when it's at its best, it's basically unreturnable. Sure, you can return it, but it takes a lot of energy to return a 200 kilometer per hour serve over and over again. And I think that's going to slowly, draw him out. So I do think Sonego probably wins the set. Maybe down the, I think Shelton wins the first two. Sonego might, steal the third when Shelton gets a little too confident. I think tie breaks lean Shelton's way. I think, I think I'm gonna lean into Ben Shelton to cover the 3.5 number. I think there is a theoretical world where Shelton 3-0s all 7-6s, but I do think he'll get at least 1 or 2 break points, and I think Sonego will genuinely struggle on these hard courts against the power that Shelton can provide. Not only is it more exhausting to return power, but it's also tricky to return left-handed power when you're just so used to dealing with righties all tournament. So give me Shelton to win this game and win it pretty comfortably, and I'm going to go with 4 sets. And that is it for today. These are 2 games I am going to be watching tonight. If you have any questions or any opinions on WTA, you can leave them down below and I will respond to them. But I do have, model-wise, I have Shelton winning by 5 games, and I have Sinner winning by 6 games. So I do like both these spots, both on paper and analytically. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Alright, now going into game number 2, we have Jannik Sinner versus Alex de Minaur. Now, in a vacuum, Sinner is a better tennis player than Alex in every single way possible, right? If you take away any possible factors, Sinner probably dominates him in 3 sets. No contest, right? Sinner is just undisputably the number 1. But there are a lot of things here that make me kind of like to lean on the Alex de Minaur side. Obviously, I think Sinner's going to win the match. He always seems to find another level, even if he does look like he's in trouble. But Alex has looked really good. He hasn't necessarily had a hard tournament up to this point. He's played like Sarandolo, Van de Zandschulp, some decent names, but no one in the top 25. And Sinner's had to take down, some harder competition, including Rune, who's looked a lot better this year, and still arguably a top 10 player. Now, head-to-head wise, it's hard to not see the pure dominance that Sinner has had over Alex over the years. 9-0. He's only dropped a single set to Alex. But I think Alex has improved a ton. When I think of the top-level players, I think it's exponential to, their improvement. And I think Alex has improved more than Sinner has over the last year. Sinner is obviously incredible, but Alex has really, kind of showed that he's kind of stepped up his game a bit. Playing style-wise, Sinner is known as just kind of the Djokovic style, just baseline, long rallies, hard ground strokes, just solid, boring but solid tennis that typically wins matches. And Alex plays more on the Alcaraz style, which is extremely aggressive, really fast, good stamina. But I've seen a lot more in Alex in terms of extending his rallies. And the one thing that Sinner does have against him right now is his recent form. And obviously people are saying that he looked fine in the practice match, whatever. But, that's not in a typical condition of a game. I do think that whatever injury does exist with him right now is not going to just disappear overnight. And if this game goes longer than he probably wants it to, I think Alex de Minaur and his incredible stamina, especially considering the fact that A, he's playing at home, so he's probably had the opportunity to, sleep in his own bed, see his own family. He'll probably be a lot more less stressed. But he also has his girlfriend who is now out of the WTA side, in Katie Boulter, who's going to be there rooting for him. I think all of that kind of stuff goes right to your legs. And I think Alex de Minaur is kind of known before his consistency in just being, a workhorse, just plays really hard nonstop and doesn't seem to have too much of a problem with longer matches. I think Alex could keep this close. I don't think he wins outright because Sinner just finds that extra gear even when he looks like he's like an hour away from dying. But 6.5, I think this could be like a 6-4, 6-7, 6-5 kind of match where he covers, or he could even steal a set here. I think he could win in the tiebreak. Maybe if Sinner does show some vulnerability early on, he could take the first set. But I don't know. I look at this match, I think Sinner is going to get all of the public attention just because he is ranked number 1. But if you're watching close enough, I think Alex de Minaur has enough things going his way that makes me lean a bit more to Alex's side here in the, not necessarily the upset, but on the underdog spot. So I'm going to be betting Alex de Minaur plus 6.5.